Okay, let's cut the crap, because we are diving straight into the deep end of the absolutely blood-soaked plot of the Jester 2. There's no easing into this.
No, definitely not. We need to be crystal clear right now.
Yeah.
This is not a spoiler-free chat. Not even close.
Mm.
If you haven't seen the 87-minute film, the whole damn thing, this contains full spoilers for the entire plot, start to finish.
Yeah.
Every horrific beat, every disgusting kill, the whole package.
Seriously, if you're under 18 or easily pissed off by graphic horror details and demonic contracts, fuck that. This deep dive is not for you.
Yeah, turn back now.
We're going raw with this analysis, pulling directly from the incredibly detailed, explicit source material you sent over. We were treating this plot like a forensic report, basically.
And our mission today is laser-focused and honestly pretty fascinating. You sent us this plot summary because you want to understand how this sequel from director Colin Krawchuk manages to blend brutal traditional slasher violence with genuinely strange, almost bureaucratic, magical lore.
Bureaucratic, yeah. It's not just killing, it's like paperwork for the devil. Or death, I guess.
Right, exactly.
That's the core tension, isn't it? We need to unpack every fucked up detail, the mechanics of the curse, the Jester's crippling egotism that drives his method.
Oh, the ego is huge.
And the central character, Max's utterly horrific journey from bullied teen to, well, reluctant accomplice. It's a whole thing.
And we're tracking one single, terrible, long Halloween night. Let's introduce the key players, get everyone situated.
Good day.
We have Max, played by Saxon Trainor. She's a 15-year-old aspiring magician. She's the catalyst for everything, really.
Totally.
Then there's the Jester himself, an embodiment of cursed, desperate ego, voiced by Michael Pare. He's just pure theatrical menace.
And the whole narrative is set up like a deadly clock ticking down to midnight. High stakes from the get-go. So let's start at minute 1. The Jester wastes absolutely no time getting to work. Talk us through what his standard operating procedure, his MO, actually looks like when he's trying to fulfill his contract.
Right, so it's highly theatrical, which is, like, critical to the curse itself. The source material details him stalking a college student in a dark alley.
Classic setup.
Yeah, total classic horror trope, but the execution elevates it. He doesn't just, jump out and stab. He performs.
Performs. How so?
And the weapon isn't a knife or an axe. It's razor-sharp cards, like precision instruments used in stage magic, which literally slice the flesh off his victims.
Jesus. Okay, so it's performance violence. Very on brand.
Exactly. It has to be a deception, a trick that leads to the kill.
And what's fascinating here, connecting back to the lore you mentioned, is that the violence itself seems almost secondary to the ritual aspect. What happens right after the murder?
Well, the killing is ritualistic because the soul collection is mandatory. It's part of the deal. He collects the soul, and when he does this, there's this visual cue. A flickering red candle appears, or maybe it's always there, but the flame dips slightly.
Okay.
That signifies a successful, albeit temporary, contract fulfillment, like checking a box.
So this confirms he's not just murdering for fun or simple bloodlust. He is literally ticking off demonic contractual obligations. Every slice, every gruesome detail is part of this dark transaction mandated by death itself.
Yeah, it's like performance review meets eternal damnation.
Which brings us to the origin of this whole bullshit situation. We're talking about an eternal damnation powered by the need for a flawless performance.
Yeah.
Why is he performing? And why is he so utterly obsessed with perfection? What's the backstory there?
Okay, so the film gives us these key flashbacks, right? And they explain the Jester was basically a failed street performer, a magician whose ego far exceeded his actual talent.
Oh, I know the type.
Totally.
Yeah.
Imagine being so desperate, so arrogantly convinced of your own skill that you try to trick death itself. Like death personified as a shadowy reaper figure trying to con death into giving you immortality or fame or whatever.
I mean, fuck that, seriously. Trying to fool death with a fucking parlor trick.
Yeah.
That's peak narcissism right there. That is some serious bullshit.
Next level misguided ego. So the deal was he wagered a perfect illusion against death to save himself from oblivion. His one shot.
Death was like, nah.
Death was thoroughly unimpressed, cursed him instead. And the law is absolute, like you said, bureaucratic. He must claim 4 souls annually via flawless deceptions before midnight on Halloween.
4 souls, flawless deceptions, before midnight. Got it.
Or he dissolves into dust. Just gone.
Yeah.
This is the source of all his anger, all his frustration. His entire existence is tied to his success, and more importantly, his professional competence as a killer magician.
Wow.
If his routine fails, if the trick isn't perfect, he dies this humiliating, ignominious death No wonder he's so pissed off all the time.
It weaponizes his own insecurity, his own massive ego. If his magic isn't perfect, he dissolves. That constant agonizing pressure
Yeah.
that fuels his cruelty and his demand for an absolute flawless, uninterrupted routine. And that's what makes Max's entry into the story so completely fucked up and critical to the plot. She doesn't just disrupt his plan. She disrupts his entire identity, the very core of his being.
Right. So Max is sitting in this small terror diner, already feeling alienated. She's wearing her Jester-inspired costume because she genuinely loves magic. It's her thing.
Of course.
But her high school bullies are there, mocking her for being weird and alone. Plus, she's already upset about having to babysit her younger sister, Zoe, later. She's isolated, vulnerable.
Exactly, the kind of easy, emotionally fragile target the Jester usually targets, right? Someone scared, someone alone.
You'd think so. So he enters the diner, spots her, and attempts his standard card tricks surprise ritual, that seamless transition from spectacle to slaughter. This is supposed to be quick, efficient, perfect, number 2 soul in the bag.
But here's where it gets really interesting and where the whole plot just pivots on a dime. Max, the aspiring magician, she's excited by the technicality of the magic. She's not terrified by this creepy figure looming over her.
Not at all. She's analyzing the mechanics of the illusion. She doesn't just recognize the trick.
She calls it out.
She calls out the trick's mechanics, practically finishes his sentence for him, compliments his skill even. And then, and this is the ultimate insult to his massive, fragile ego, she performs her own small but perfect levitation coin move.
Oh, shit. She showed him up.
Kind of. She's not just a passive observer to be terrified. She is a critical peer who recognized the illusion structure and proved she could execute a trick herself. She met him on his own turf.
And the source material is explicit about his reaction, right? The Jester is visibly flustered. His routine is broken.
Completely.
This tiny 15-year-old girl, simply by being too competent at stage magic, has ruined his timing, his professional composure, and critically, the necessary flawless deception required by his curse.
Yep.
So fuck that. He leaves without killing her. He cannot proceed because the trick wasn't perfect. The ritual is tainted. The contract is potentially void for that soul. And the clock is ticking even faster now. He's down 1 potential soul.
Right. And the immediate consequence of Max breaking his routine is just devastating professional humiliation for the Jester. He's now running low on time, needing 3 more souls, but only having achieved 1 perfect ritual kill so far.
He's stressed.
He's so thrown off his game that his subsequent attempts to claim the necessary souls just flop spectacularly.
We're talking about pure, unadulterated glitches, man. Like, tech fails in the middle of the demonic ritual.
Exactly. The source emphasizes how his tools fail him. The cards fumble, they stick to his hands, illusions just malfunction horribly.
Oh, God.
And instead of inspiring terror, the botched tricks draw uncomfortable laughs from his targets. Can you imagine?
That's pure narrative humiliation, an egotistical killer being actively dismantled by his own failing powers and the shitty terms of his contract. That's almost funny if it weren't so, murdery.
It's darkly comic, yeah. But he still desperately needs the final 3 souls to avoid dissolving into dust, so he kills them anyway. A jogger. A partygoer.
But the kills are different now.
The source says these kills are graphic, sure, but they're improvised and messy, like strangulation with scarves, impalement via exploding props that went wrong, just brute force.
There's a delicious, horrifying irony there. The actual deaths are maybe more savage and brutal because they lack the grace of the illusion.
Right, but because the trick failed, they are flawed rituals, according to the curse. They don't count towards the perfect 4.
And the curse registers this failure instantly. The red candle, which should be burning steadily after a perfect kill, now burns unevenly, sputtering.
Sputtering, threatening to go out. This is absolute shit for him. He's murdering people left and right, getting blood everywhere, but he's still dissolving because he failed the technical requirement, the performance aspect.
He realizes he is running out of time and that Max isn't just a disruption. She's somehow the key to fixing his mojo. She's the solution.
He knows he needs a reset, basically. And that Max, the only person who recognized and, importantly, appreciated the mechanics of his magic, is the only one who can deliver the required flawless deception.
So he begins the recruitment process. He returns to the diner parking lot, and this twisted partnership starts to form.
Yeah, it starts with a classic manipulation tactic, very cult leader-ish. He gifts Max his signature floppy hat as a token, establishes this perverse camaraderie, like, we're the same, you and I. But he doesn't stop there. He needs to impress her, reel her in, not terrify her yet.
Build that connection first.
Exactly. So he then performs truly flawless, magnificent tricks on her bullies, turning their phones into swarms of fake buzzing spiders. Showing off, basically.
And to Max, the alienated, aspiring magician, this is pure technical brilliance. She sees a master performer, a kindred spirit maybe, definitely not a demonic killer harvesting soul.
The manipulation is brilliant and completely fucked up. Max, seeing herself in this ostracized figure, this misunderstood performer, totally misinterprets him. She sees a potential mentor where she should see a goddamn monster.
And that misplaced trust leads directly to the first ritual Max actually witnesses, where the illusion becomes terrifying reality for her.
He leads her to an isolated house for a grand illusion. Max is excited, right? She thinks this is her chance to learn from a master. She even assists in a card-guessing trick on an unsuspecting homeowner.
Oh, no.
She plays her part perfectly, ensuring the deception is complete. She's part of the flawless performance.
But immediately upon completion, when the trick is technically perfect and satisfies the contract requirement, the Jester switches gears instantly.
Performer to executioner, snap. He seals the man's mouth with magical glowing tape, suffocating him right there, and harvests the soul. The candle flame suddenly leaps up, strong and steady. Second perfect soul acquired.
And that is Max's horrifying aha moment. This isn't about magic, it's about murder masked by magic. This is the crucial moment of complicity and enlightenment. Fuck.
She immediately flees, terrified. She grabs a stolen phone from the Jester's first victim that he had carelessly pocketed earlier. Smart move.
Does he chase her? Try to kill her now.
He pursues her, but crucially still doesn't harm her. He needs her to desperately now. She's proven she can deliver the perfect deception. He needs two more.
How does he communicate that?
He communicates using the stolen phone's Ouija app, which is such a weird, creepy detail.
Wait, let's unpack that technical detail. The Ouija app. The source says it's activated via a ghostly interface. What does that even look like?
Yeah, it's not just like texting, hey, this is the supernatural world utilizing modern tech to communicate the rules. It's glitchy, spectral, really unsettling.
And what is the core message he sends her through this fucked up app?
The message is fragmented, delivered through the phone's glowing interface, forcing her to confront the supernatural reality of her situation. I need you, like me.
Like me. Meaning like him, a performer, or like him, cursed?
Probably both. The visions and messages she gets explain the true crux. Max's earlier intervention, her calling out his trick, disrupted the Jester's mojo. It contaminated the integrity of his required 4 perfect deceptions.
So she is the only key to restoring the Count by performing the necessary flawless tricks herself.
That seems to be the implication. If she doesn't comply, both of them perish before midnight. He dissolves, and maybe she does too, or maybe death just takes her anyway. It's unclear, but the threat is real.
This raises a serious question about the contract's bullshit rules, though.
Yeah.
Why does Max's involvement magically fix the Jester's ability to perform? Is it about shared energy, or is it that death recognizes her deception as equivalent to his? Like, the curse just needs a perfect trick, doesn't care who does it.
It seems to be about the integrity of the performance itself. Her skill validated the deception required by the contract. It makes the ritual whole again in Death's eyes.
Okay, but she could still refuse, right? Just run.
But to ensure her compliance, the Jester forces the issue. A glowing rune appears on Max's hand, tying her supernaturally to him. A physical manifestation of the bond.
Oh shit, so she can't just walk away.
Nope. She now feels the curse's pull as phantom pains. She's literally feeling his slow decay, his desperation. This is seriously fucked up. She is tethered to his damnation, which pretty much forces her hand. She has to help him to help herself stop hurting.
Okay, so Max is now physically, magically tied to a homicidal maniac via a burning rune on her hand. She's feeling the physical pain of his decaying existence. She's grappling with the insane moral weight of this.
Yeah, it's heavy.
And the source material highlights her tragic choice here.
Mm-hmm.
She empathizes with the Jester's ostracized past, which, tragically mirrors her own bullying experiences. So she decides to test the leniency of the curse.
How? Like, try to find a loophole.
Maybe. Or maybe she thinks the Jester is just misunderstood. Or maybe she can control the outcome if she's the one doing the trick. Can she minimize the harm?
So she selects one of her own tormentors, the ringleader bully from the diner. It's a twisted logic trying to minimize harm by selecting someone she feels deserves it, or at least someone who caused her pain. Kind of a dark justice.
But here's where the narrative gets agonizingly complex, really twists the knife.
What happens?
Right before the ritual, the bully doesn't gloat or fight back. He awkwardly apologizes to Max, admits his cruelty stemmed from insecurity over a crush he had on her. He makes himself vulnerable.
Oh, fuck, that's brutal. So this is the moment where Max could theoretically back out, stop the process, break the perfection of the trick. She could refuse.
But she doesn't. She is already too deep in the curse's pull, feeling that physical pain, or perhaps too committed to the idea of finding a technical solution, of controlling it.
So she proceeds with the trick.
She proceeds. She performs the mind-reading trick flawlessly, completing the necessary deception. The ritual is technically complete. Soul number 3 is lined up.
And she pleads with the Jester, right? Begging him to spare the apologetic kid.
Yeah, she tries. But he manifests immediately, showing that once the deception is perfect, the execution is automatic and inescapable. He doesn't care about the kid's apology. The contract demands the soul.
And the execution is bad.
It's absolutely savage. The source describes this as one of the most graphic acts in the film, vivisecting the boy with razor-edged confetti, like a storm of paper cuts from hell.
Jesus Christ, confetti.
We're talking pure, blood-soaked spectacle, a total violation of her brief moment of hope, her attempt at mercy. The horror is in that juxtaposition. The polite, apologetic victim and the immediate, over-the-top carnage fueled by stage props.
And Max's reaction?
She throws up. Understandably, this is the genuine raw turning point where she realizes there's absolutely no controlling the ultimate result. She performed a perfect trick, the candle burns brighter, but the consequence is pure absolute carnage.
Her hands might not have held the weapon, but her complicity is sealed by the flawless magic she performed. She is now an active participant in demonic murder. No way around it.
Exactly. So, panicked, she dials 911 on that stolen phone, describing the murders, trying to undo it somehow. 2 cops arrive at the party scene, guns drawn. Standard procedure.
But now, thanks to Max's perfect trick, the Jester's curse is partially recharged. He's got more juice. He demonstrates his regained, terrifying bullshit power on these poor cops.
He toys with them mercilessly. He doesn't even need to fight them directly. He uses illusions to demoralize and disable them.
Like what?
Turning their flashlights into blinding fireworks, disorienting them. Then sealing their radios shut with wax, isolating them completely, cutting off communication. Pure psychological warfare using magic.
And when they finally manage to shoot him, does that work?
Nope. Bullets phase right through his ethereal form. Fuck that. He's functionally unstoppable now that he has enough juice in the curse to control his environment like that. The cops are screwed.
Okay, so amid this chaos, Max makes a run for it again. She hitches a ride with a creepy stranger, a van driver with serious leering vibes, red flags everywhere.
Oh, this trope, yeah. He immediately locks the doors, revealing pedophilic intent. Textbook creepy van guy.
But the Jester's reaction is unique here. It highlights the horrific paradox of his relationship with Max.
How so?
He views her as his indispensable property, right? His asset for survival. She's the key to fulfilling the contract. So he can't let anything happen to her before the contract is done.
Resource guarding.
Exactly. He teleports into the van, decapitates the man instantly with a fucking guillotine illusion theatrical even in rescue, and stuffs the body in the trunk.
Holy shit.
And the message he sends via the Ouija app is chillingly possessive. Mine to keep. It's not protection out of care. It's pure asset protection. He eliminates threats to his tool so she can complete the contract.
That is profoundly fucked up. Okay, so the stress of witnessing this insane chain of events, the murders, the psychological manipulation, the physical strain of the curse rune, it all finally catches up to Max.
She has a severe asthma attack, collapses, can't breathe. She's physically breaking down.
And the Jester needs her alive to finish the contract. This is a purely tactical decision on his part, right? No empathy involved.
Zero empathy. He carries her limp body to a nearby fire station for medical aid. EMTs revive her, stabilize her.
But when the firefighters question her, trying to figure out what happened,
she whispers warnings about the clown killer. She tries to get help. The Jester realizes he's lost control of the situation again and must retrieve her immediately. He can't have witnesses or interference.
So he unleashes absolute havoc. The fire station slaughter is described in the sources as a complete shit show, a symphony of screams and gore.
This is the Jester operating at full restored power, needing to reclaim his human asset quickly and brutally.
We need to detail this shit show because it sounds insane. What kind of kills are we talking about?
We're talking gruesome, highly theatrical kills, totally leaning into the environment. He rigs fire hoses to spray acid-like foam, specifically targeting faces, melting them off.
Oh my God.
He collapses the ceiling using a collapsing tent illusion, crushing several victims underneath. It's just a spectacular, horrifying display demonstrating his full, unrestrained power when the curse is working perfectly.
And the candle.
The candle is now dripping wax aggressively. He's almost done. He only needs one more perfect deception, one more soul. This massacre is just collateral damage to get Max back.
Max, revived, witnessing this third wave of utter carnage, knows she has to try one last act of defiance. She handcuffs herself to a fire truck, tries to physically prevent him from taking her.
It's a desperate move, but again, her skill is what defines her, even here.
Right. This is a beautiful, tiny moment of badassery in the middle of all the bloodshed. She's a magician, remember?
She picks the lock with a hidden hairpin trick. Like, of course she does.
She defies the constraints of the physical world using the very same skills that got her into this mess in the first place. She might be running from a monster, but she hasn't lost her core identity as a performer, a trickster herself.
Okay, so Max escapes the fire station massacre. She limps home, utterly exhausted, terrified, physically injured from the stab wound later, and mentally just shattered.
She gets to her door and her mother answers, scolding her harshly for being late, running off, typical worried parent stuff, but wrong.
Something is profoundly fucked up. The mother is acting bizarrely out of character, too rigid, unnaturally harsh, almost robotic.
Max senses this wrongness. She attempts to find her little sister Zoe, maybe get her out of there, but stops dead when she spots it.
The Jester's red candle, the symbol of the curse. Sitting on a shelf in her own home, its flame burning low, signifying time is almost up.
And then he bursts from a closet. Theatrics again. Briefly unmasking to reveal truly decayed, horrifying Joker grin flesh underneath. He is running out of time, and he's desperate. This is the final act.
And then comes the truly dark reveal, the absolute horror core of the film, the most fucked up part.
He is controlling her mother's corpse.
Yeah. Her throat was slit earlier, off-screen, presumably. And the body is being propped up, puppet-like, by the Jester.
Oh my God.
And he's forcing words from the womb in her throat. Finish it! Or the little one, Zoe. He confirms he had hidden Zoe somewhere in the house for leverage.
That is maximum psychological leverage, using her dead mother as a mouthpiece to threaten her sister. There's no choice there.
None. Max has no choice. She agrees to the final fourth soul. She has to.
And she nominates a kind diner coworker, a fellow student, as the target. It's this perverse attempt to minimize harm, right? Choosing a relative stranger over someone she cares about more deeply, like her sister or maybe even herself.
It's a transaction of grief and desperation, a horrible choice forced upon her.
So they head back to the closing diner for the final fourth trick. Max is just going through the motions now, exhausted, traumatized, but technically performing the magic.
The coworker, oblivious, amiably participates in Max's final card trick. He selects the ace. The deception is complete on the surface. The ritual is seemingly perfect. Fourth soul collected.
But this is where the flawless deception clause of Death's shitty contract backfires spectacularly on the Jester himself. Max twists the rules using her own skills.
As the coworker selects the ace, Max reveals her master plan. She looks at the Jester and says something like, "The observer watches, the trick's on you."
Okay, let's break down the technicality of the loophole because this is the core piece of knowledge you, the listener, probably wanted from this deep dive. The Jester requires a flawless deception. Max had already secured the 3 souls needed with perfect tricks, 1 by him, 2 by her. But she ensured the 4th, the most critical one, was technically invalid. How?
She reveals she had palmed the ace of diamonds, the chosen card, into the Jester's own pocket during that terrifying home standoff. Remember when he burst out of the closet and was threatening Zoe with her mother's corpse?
Right, in that chaos.
In that chaos, she pulled a sleight of hand move on him. The Jester was so focused on the leverage, Zoe, and the requirement, the final soul, that he completely missed Max's small, critical misdirection. He didn't notice the card plant.
So by planting that card on the Jester, she effectively tricked him twice. The coworker picked the card, yes, but the real deception was the one performed on the Jester himself, the executor of the curse.
Exactly. This act of deception, aimed secretly at the killer, violated the technical perfection required by the contract. It was no longer a flawless deception of the victim, it included an accidental, unnoticed deception of the executor. The ritual was contaminated by her hidden move.
Brilliant. Utterly brilliant and deeply nerdy.
The curse immediately backfires. The red candle snuffs out prematurely, voided. The Jester, realizing in that instant he's been outmaneuvered by a teenager using his own methods, is absolutely pissed off, beyond furious.
He lashes out in pure rage, sealing the coworker's mouth anyway, claiming the unintended fourth soul a moment of final futile effort, trying to force it.
But it's too late. The contract has been irrevocably voided by the flawed final trick. He crumbles instantly. Flames consume him from within, erupting outward.
And he howls in voiceless agony as his body incinerates. The film doesn't spare the gore, detailing his disintegration into ash and confetti. His own props become his funeral pyre. The entire existence of the Jester is nullified due to a technicality and a fucking card trick.
It's an incredibly specific defeat. But he's not fully dust yet. In one final, desperate act of pure malice, the incinerating Jester lunges.
Still frying.
Still trying. He stabs Max's thigh with a jagged shard from his magic wand, and he claws desperately at her glowing rune hand, trying to physically transfer the curse to make her the new host before he dies completely. Pass the buck.
But Max fights back, using the tools of her trade, again.
She grabs a broken bottle, smashes his mask off completely, revealing the rotted face beneath, and then impales his eye socket with her stage wand, the same instrument she used to perfect the trick, now used as a weapon.
Poetic justice.
And she channels some kind of counter-illusion, maybe fueled by her own will or the breaking curse, accelerating his disintegration into nothing but ash and confetti, gone.
And the source notes, Death's silhouette looms overhead, silently approving. Is Death approving Max's cleverness, or just the closing of the contract loophole?
Hard to say. Maybe Death just respects a good performance, a good loophole. The contract has been fulfilled, or perhaps the Jester simply failed spectacularly, and the entity is satisfied with the outcome either way. Job done.
Okay, the aftermath. Chaos, naturally. Sirens wail. The coworker is immediately revived by paramedics. This is the essential technical win for Max, right?
Yes. His soul was technically harvested by the Jester sealing his mouth, confirming the Jester did complete the required 4 souls in a way, but Max's loophole ensured the ritual was flawed enough that the victim's body remained intact and revivable. The soul returned, maybe, or it was never fully claimed.
She saved the victim's life, essentially, while still damning the killer according to the rules. A technical knockout.
Max is bandaged up, shielding Zoe, whom the Jester had apparently just hidden unharmed in a closet. She silently mourns her mother as the police haul the corpse away in a body bag. She survived the night, but she's utterly destroyed, physically and emotionally. You see the toll.
It's over. Or is it? The epilogue, though, is the final, completely fucked up twist that just kicks you in the teeth and sets up the next chapter.
Yeah, Max is in the hospital recovering. Her mentor magician, the guy from the local magic shop maybe, visits, trying to offer comfort, saying something like, magic's about illusion, not destruction, trying to pull her back to the light side.
But Max is beyond simple comfort now. She's enlightened in the darkest way possible. She delivers this knowing, chilling smile. It's unsettling.
And she replies, 4 tricks, 4 souls. I get it now. She understands the mechanics. Deeply.
The rune fades from her hand at that moment, suggesting the immediate physical tether to the now-dead Jester is gone. She is technically free from him.
Except the camera then reveals the true horror. As the mentor leaves, we see a new red candle flickers to life in her bag. The curse's indicator.
Oh, fuck no.
She may have inherited the curse directly through that final struggle, or Death may have simply selected her as the replacement host because she proved so adept at understanding and manipulating the rules.
So she is now doomed to the Jester's fate. Annual killings via flawless deception, 4 souls before midnight on Halloween, or oblivion herself.
The scene fades to black on her picking up and donning the Jester's floppy hat, which she kept. The screen crackles with static laughter, maybe hers, maybe residual Jester energy. The bullied girl is gone. The successor, the next Jester, is potentially born.
She used her own specific genius, her understanding of the rules of illusion, to beat the contract. But that very skill, that cleverness, made her the most qualified candidate for the goddamn job. #outro.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener, after having absorbed every single piece of this chaotic, bloody, rule-obsessed plot? The big takeaway, I think, is how this film successfully fused brutal slasher gore with extremely specific, almost legalistic supernatural mythology.
Absolutely. The tension wasn't just about whether Max would survive the Jester's attacks, the physical threat. It was whether she could successfully outthink a demonic contract tied specifically to ritualistic perfection and performance art.
Yeah, the entire plot hinged on exploiting a technical loophole that only a really great magician, someone obsessed with the rules of deception like Max, would even think to exploit. It's about method.
The true horror, then, isn't really the Jester himself. He's just a symptom, right? A manifestation of ego and a contract gone wrong. The real horror is Max's forced, brutal transformation.
From bullied aspiring magician to his potential successor, she literally gained the wisdom of the damned through her ordeal. She learned the system.
She used her deep knowledge of card handling and misdirection to defeat the Jester, effectively beating Death's rules at its own game, which is kind of badass.
Totally badass.
But that new flickering candle in her bag, man, that raises one hell of a provocative question, and one we definitely need to leave you to chew on.
Which is?
Did she just delay the curse by eliminating the current host, getting a temporary reprieve? Or did her master trick, her superior deception demonstrated right in the face of death? Did that convince the shadowy Reaper entity that she is the absolute most perfect host for the next generation of this bullshit?
Did her competence sign her up for the job?
Exactly. She now understands the mechanism perfectly. 4 tricks, 4 souls. I get it now. Her final chilling smile and the act of putting on the Jester's hat, is that just survival, a grim souvenir? Or is it an acceptance, maybe even an embrace, of the horrific fate she tried so desperately to prevent?
Her flaw might not be ego, like the original Jester. Maybe her fatal flaw is her perfectionism, her mastery of the very thing the curse demands.
She won the battle by proving she was better than the devil at his own game. But in the process, she might have just guaranteed she has to take over the goddamn family business. A truly fucked up eternal inheritance.
Yeah. Think about that shit.
Seriously. Mull that one over. We'll catch you next time for the next deep dive.